I think it's all right. So here we go. We got the same kind of thing, but only one destroyer on this side of OP Gaming. So we'll see how that works out with the spotting and everything. Pretty standard setup over here with the double shokakus,
Make
and
sure we get our
there
ram on.
where we
Ooh.
are. Make sure you didn't bring any ramming flags as we take off here. As I
Oh, that would have
spawn,
been funny.
I spawn on the north side. We've actually had that happen before.
All right, so
But
looking over here, we have Lord of Face. He looks like he's taking a direct line over to A, while the Harakaze, piloted by Gray Baron, is moving himself, it looks like, over to C. This could change. I don't know if they're going full out or if they're just trying to get a wide west approach on B. I'll fill you in as I see.
all right, so what we got? We got Rhino in the Benson, Merrill's in the Shuriatsuyu, Colonel Sanders. Benson's headed to C. We got the kind of in between A and B right now. It looks like they're going to send Rhino out by himself over to the right, left-hand side of the map. Kudasov, Charles Martel heading over there. They have a key pink assassin heading over with the Benson toward Charlie, and these other guys are kind of just milling around about the C45 line here. Just trying to decide what they want to do. It looks like they're going to try to get A. They're going to go try to take C and A, and then have angles across the
That's
map.
the exact mirrored approach we got going over here. The mass of the fleet is heading towards A. I'm sure your spotter planes can start to see some of the
We're
details
starting to
there for
see
a
something
second.
right now. We're seeing the Harakaze, Kudasov, and Amagi out there with Gray Baron, Swag, and
Yep,
Beta.
that's the triple flotilla that looks like it's moving out to the seaside. So your Benson looks like he's going to reach the C cap before ours hits the A. But yeah, so we got kind of almost a direct mirrored approach here. Although no one looks to be going up the center over here on this side, as it looks like your North Carolina seems to be moving up to the field.
Shots coming in on the Benson Rhino here. He must have been spotted by something.
I'm probably the dive bombers, I'm guessing. The AA is
can't-
on, so it could have been things spotting him there.
He does have his AA. He does have his AA module going right now, and it has now just fallen off. So there's the spots there. We are seeing Lord of Face on the right hand side. Apparently, there's a Harakaze and a Benson. I was not paying attention to that. So there you go.
we see
Lord of
this
Face has been
Benson on
spotted.
Benson.
Colonel Sanders has been spotted. Looks like Frat and Deprived Pickle are also, and some APs coming in from two different directions. North Carolina, Admiral Curd. And wow, this Benson is under some
Colonel
heavy-duty
Sanders
fire.
is taking it hot and fried.
Under
Those are
some-
not 23 special spices.
There's a special blend flavor there. He will end up being crispy, and those torpedoes are awfully
And it looks like
close.
there's a flood of torps moving into the area. I don't know if he is safe or not.
He will miss the outside one just barely, but he will take some damage for it as he had to get out of his smoke to be spotted just so he could dodge those torps. He will be just fine out of those. On the other side, Gray Baron has been spotted. I don't think Rhino is spotted right now, but there is a torpedo wall that just popped up on the Benson's radar here. It's going to be an excellent play to dodge those torpedoes from, well, vigilance is a good thing. Plus plane spottings is also a good
Yeah,
thing,
that's
too.
helping a lot. So you guys definitely have the capping advantage, although it looks like now OPG's got a good force set for A. So if they want to bully that cap, I think they'll get it if they decide to take it here.
If they push in. That looks like Benson, Chappie, Amagi, Kudasov, and North Carolina from OP Gaming are over toward A at the moment, and they actually have everything here.
Yes, everything but that trifecta flotilla rolling out over towards C, which is you got Swagger and the Kudasov, Beta Orions and the Amagi, and Gray Baron and that Harakaze.
Now-
They're still looking for their opportunity to come into
Now,
C.
TCN and Not Yet Dead, North Carolina, and Kudasov are having angles on this Kwangdu, sitting behind the island in the Amagi. He's just moved up just where they're not going to be able to touch him anymore, and then Lord
Yeah,
of
that
Face
low
is
land
under
space.
some fire as well.
Yeah, he was trying to use that cover, but that would have seen that island does dip down quite low there, and North Carolina with those lobby shells definitely can flow down right on him.
As we take a look over here, let's take a look at hit points here. Colonel Sanders and the Kudasov here, TCN, are both down at half hit points. And if, you lose a DD
everybody
early.
else is kind of healthier over here. It looks like we got a quarter of life taken from Kwangdu, Lord of Face, and Gray Baron. Two of those being DDs, of course, so a quarter of the health pool. Small amounts taken.
Let's
Quang
take
Du
a
is still looking pretty healthy.
let's take a look at the air battle that's going on right now between the two planes, the two CVs. Trying to keep the people spotted, forcing the Benson to use his smoke that could
Hmm.
play a factor later on, boys.
Yeah, that's
Ladies,
right. He had to burn it behind an island, so he's kind of smoking an area that's already kind of blocking line of sight. Yeah, that's
it's
gonna.
definite. It's a definite hard want to use of a smoke there for anybody who's worth their salt in this game. You definitely don't want to smoke yourself behind an island because the island can block most of those shots anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of
Uh,
doing the job of the smoke for the most part outside of
Now,
that air tree.
Merrill's in the Shiriatsuyu coming in, dropping 2 racks of torpedoes on the right next to the island, and then just a little bit behind the island. There in A, trying to blanket a little bit of that smoke. Maybe catch the Benson not paying attention, but we'll see because there's no
Yeah,
planes here.
Lawrence.
There's no planes here spotting these torpedoes for him. So who knows
Yep,
if he
no,
sees
they're.
them at all.
Oh, yep, they're there. They're on the backside. So he's luckily on the north face of that island right now.
There
So
you
those
go.
went by free will, passed to the backside.
Quang Du
But
still
good play
taking
there.
some damage here.
Oh, I think the Chappie burned his radar, burning up Colonel Sanders here. So it looks like the focus fire is on him.
80 down to 8,000 hit points. At 62, looks like there's a whole bunch of shots coming in. There's some made some contact for about 600 damage. Colonel Sanders has dropped a kind of a defensive set of torpedoes back into the smoke. We'll see what's going on. Some shots going into the smoke from the Charles Martel, which he can sure do it, and he can get out to that edge as quickly as he possibly can. And they're gonna be hard pressed to hit him. Doesn't look like the Benson spotted anymore. And how these torps look? Do you spot the torps yet?
I
You should
have
be
not
able to.
seen the torps on my side
Should
yet,
be
so I know that
popping
they're
up
incoming. I'm coming
pretty
up.
quick.
You see, we got some planes coming up north of the area. They should be spotting them soon.
I think he's missed the smoke on these torpedoes, so I don't think he's going to hit anything there.
Oh, hang on. Whether he meant to or not, there's potential. Gray Baron's passing through the area right now as those torps are coming through. It looks like he is going to dodge them, but pretty good play. If they were just a few hundred meters more to the east, that would have put Gray Baron.
Oh, there's another set of torpedoes just popped up and then died right there next to Colonel Sanders. Those were real close as well.
So it looks like the Sea Flotilla is doing the job and taking that sea cap now. They were patient with it. They held themselves back. And what was a 2-0 base capture game, or 0-2 from this perspective, is now going to be turning into a 2-on-1 here. So good comeback play for Caps.
SF made the push early for Charlie, and one thing that we have seen from OP Gaming in the past is when they get their mind set on something, they put a team together and they split their team up, and they do very, very well in their little squads. You have Quang Du. In the Amagi, the Benson, and the Chappie over here on the left-hand side of the map. On the right-hand side of the map, you have Beto Rhinus, and it's a pretty standard lineup here, where you have one battleship, one cruiser, one destroyer on both sides of the map, so they're able to adjust and do pretty much whatever they want to. And they have the flexibility to do anything, which I think is a really good thing. And back here in the back looks like North Carolina Kudasov sitting in the back there.
Yeah, they're just keeping their eyes on B to make sure there's nothing going to be rolling through, trying to get double flanking positions on everyone. But yeah, they kind of got him in a pincer move now, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
All right, so on the other side here at SF, we have not yet dead taking a little bit of fire in the North Carolina, and then the Kudasov TCN behind the island there. Merrill's is floating around in the Shiriatsuyu near them. Colonel Sanders, Achilles, and good old Charles Martel, crazy cool, out here near the A cap, and then on the other side we have Pink Assassin just kind of playing way out. Just seeing if he could get a shot if Rhino gets a spot on. But he has been hounded by planes so far this game. So good job to A43.
Your Kudasov is visible, and it looks like the focus was called just on him. So we're going to see how many shots come flying in at this side.
All right, so far I've only seen one volley come in. There's another volley on the way.
I think the Amagi's turrets are turning, getting in position. Here comes his shells. It looks like at least part of the turret array.
They will hit. Oh, they just splashed around him.
And out of this side, OPG's side, Quang is probably the one taking the most damage right now. He's about third of his health pool, although it looks
And
like he's getting
he
heal on, so he
spotted
may get
again.
back to half.
He spotted again, and the nobody's pinging him, but everybody's starting to shoot at him.
Yeah, we're
At
seeing those
least
volleys
from
come in.
the A side, Charles Martel's shooting at him. From
And
what
here
I
comes
can
some
tell,
torps that are definitely going to be
they're pretty close.
at
There's
least getting people to move out of probably where they wanted to be.
well, there's
So,
8 torps in there, or there's 10, 18 torpedoes going through that smoke right now in a crossoid pattern. They don't look like they're gonna. They just died out. I
Yeah,
don't
the
think they
juice.
reached. I don't think they reached anything in there.
no, there was no real threat. They
Lots
needed
of
to-
shots. Beto O'Reilly and his crew over at sea have found the angle here on Not Yet Dead, who is in a panic right now, not being able to do anything. Not that he's panicking, but you understand what I'm saying, people. Get off of my back. Anyway, so he's kind of pinched right now. He's getting shot from the front. He's been taking damage for a long, long time. He's down to 20,000 damage, and now they're taking shots.
Amagi shells coming into his broadside over there from the C squad.
They
Although it looks like
just
they're aimed a little
overshot.
high.
Yep, they overshot him just a little bit. Swag and the Kudasov able to still continue to put shots down on him. He is currently on fire at the moment. I don't know. He might have dropped off.
And
of
Beta's made the
detection.
correct adjustment, it looks like. Although still, he could have depressed a little bit more there, but at least it looked like one round came through.
Right, Swagger has switched his focus from the North Carolina over to Rhino and then back over. So they kind of need to focus fire down, people, if they want to go ahead and take this advantage. But on the other side, man, I tell you what, SF just does not have a shot. They're shooting at Lord of Face right now, but there's pretty much no return fire from anybody on the people that are doing the most damage on OP Gaming. Frat's now starting to get into the action here on the North Carolina. But nobody's really been able to retaliate yet, and that doesn't bode well for SF right now, as if they lose that North
Thankfully,
Carolina early.
Thankfully, these fighters were locked up where they were, and they were able to spot those torps for OPG boys. So now what would probably have been a 2-kill, just looking by their position in that smoke, they're at least going to be able to scatter and minimize that damage that they take, if any.
Well, Not Yet Dead down to 15,000 hit points as Achilles has now become the focus. Some return fire from Crazy Cool. He's kind of doing the work right now. TCN is also firing out. Looks like they're shooting at Admiral Curd in the North Carolina.
There's been no call on a focus target over here, so everyone's kind of firing at what they can. It does seem like when somebody makes a call for the focus that everyone tends to get into that realm, but right now no one's been called out.
As it should be, guys. If y'all are in randoms and y'all ping out somebody or somebody pings and y'all have a shot, go ahead and turn and place that shot if it's feasible for you guys. That's
Right.
that's
Focus
always
fire is the easiest way to drop a target.
there. You go. Because one less target. If everybody shoots on one guy, that guy's probably going to die as soon as he can, or as soon as he's going to die quickly. Let's just put it that way. He's going to die quickly, and then that's one less guy that y'all have to deal with.
Although we haven't seen
all
any
three
ships
caps
fall
have
yet,
gone
the
over
caps-
to OP Gaming now.
Objective play has definitely been the name of the game here, as it should be. It is domination mode.
I think the
And
problem
with that
is
triple cap, that tick rate's going to get out of control real quick if they can't counter.
something to be said about OP Gaming in last week. Their positioning on all of their games was impeccable. I don't think they got out positioned once last week. And we're seeing, there's some torpedoes coming in at
And a
Beta.
smart move by Beta Ryans. He went full speed, didn't even try to slow down, backed himself into that island.
Wow,
and
nasty
used the
nasty
momentum
shot
to
on
push
Swagger.
forward.
Really nasty shot on Swagger there, taking him down about 3/4 of hit points there, down to 14,000.
Pink Assassin is getting turned red real quick here, over here up by Charlie's side. The focus seems to be called on him right now.
There we go. We got shots
We even
from
have
Beta.
Amagi HE shells coming in at him just to hopefully get that dot damage on and get him out of play.
Getting an Amagi out of play is an amazing thing. And there it is, Frat taking first blood here. Taking almost 15 minutes to get that first blood. They just kind of grind them down. They burned them down a little bit there. and it took them a good 15 minutes, but they had to do something because now they're starting to get the caps back. You have a Benson over in A and C, just to try to keep it closer, as they did lose quite a bit of points for losing that other one. And now Not Yet Dead is spotted again from the same in the same position that he was in before. From Beta, and it's just starting to take more
the return,
damage.
that flame is going, and he's either got 2 or 3 fires, depending whether he's not running fire prevention or not. So his ship is burning crispy.
So far, it's just one fire on the very, very back end of the boat.
So he must be rolling fire prevention, because he's got double flames rolling my side.
Beta Orionis is on double fires, but the North Carolina is only on a single fire.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. We'll switch that around. Little clarification there. Looks like Not Dead Yet is going to go ahead and hit his repair party, or it might have burnt out. Either way, he's down to 9,300 hit points.
And just like that, man, we're back to a 2-1 cap advantage. Switched back over to SF.
Well, Swagger has gone down as well. I missed the kill shot, so I don't know.
Pardon me, I missed that kill shot too. I was watching the sea action.
We were watching the burning down action. There you go. TCN going into the smoke here next to Colonel Sanders. 6,000 hit points. These Quang Du shots could come in and finish him off. There it is. There it is. Just like I predicted there. Quang Du taking down TCN in the Kudasov at 16 minutes in the game. There's only 4 minutes left, and TSF needs to get a push on, and they need to get a kill right now to have a chance at pulling this game out. A
kill would be really good for them there, for sure.
It's a very good game on both
Lord
points.
Of Face, if he's visible, I see shots moving in his direction, so is he visible there for you guys? You see?
No, we don't see anybody except for Beta and Quang Du right now. They're doing a really good job of keeping the smoke up and being out detected here. Here comes some torpedoes in. They will take out Colonel Sanders. There it is. That should do it for the game. Nice torpedoes from Lord of Face.
2 more ticks, unless a kill comes
there you
quick.
go. Game 1 is going over to OP Gaming. There you go.
Great.
What a great. Very, very interesting choice taking the Shiriatsuyu. I don't think that the Shiriatsuyu really had an impact on this game, one way or another. Merrill's taking 1 kill. I believe he's the one that torpedoed Swagger over there. So maybe it was a good choice. Who knows?
Yeah, interesting. And man, I am quite impressed. So that Harakaze rocking 25 planes shot down. So giving it up for the IJN DD AA there for sure.
And not just that, but the over here on this side, Rhino with 24 planes shot down.
24 planes.
So
destroyers
on
carrying
both sides. Now it's obviously a C-hole Benson with the AA button, which is an amazing thing. I've been putting it on my Fletcher more and more, just to take out some of the planes, because the planes at higher tiers are pretty strong and they really hurt the destroyers. So why not put it up there? All right. So coming up on this side, Merrill's 1 kill. North Carolina, 8 planes, 24 for the Benson, 13 for the other Benson, Colonel Sanders, 7 on the Key Achilles, 11 on the Shokaku, and 2 on the Kudasov that is dead. So, great game from OP Gaming. Break us down what you got over there.
Yeah, so Shokaku here, A432 RAR, got 10 planes down. Again, Harakaze here, I can't see the full player. Oh, Gray Baron, there we go, 25 planes shut down by himself. Lord of Face getting a kill on 8 planes. We had Admiral Kurd getting 2 birds. Quang Du getting 1 kill and 1 bird. Frat Star getting a kill. Chappie getting a plane. And Swagger getting that 14 planes as well. So again, not as many kills on this team, but we saw that objective play really win the game.
All right, so pretty much positioning again. I tell you what, OP Gaming coming in as this is their first season back in the Supremacy League, and just really making a name for themselves, even on top of what they have. Positioning has been their key. through the entire series, through the entire qualifiers, all the games that we casted here, and all the games that I watched after the fact, is positioning. Their positioning is some of the best in the league
I agree
thus
that
far.
position-
Even though this is only one game, they did have 12 games previously, and that's been a theme for them. They don't like to rush into the B cap. They will send people out to A and C just to hold it down, just to cap the outsides, and then they have positioning, because 9 times out of 10 in the past, people have charged into that B cap as big old ball of goo, and then sent one guy out to the other side after the other cap has been taken. So them breaking that meta, these teams, SF needs to regroup here and see what they can do.
Yeah, that was definitely a good display of objective play wins games.
Excellent, excellent. Objective play, guys. That's right. You end up getting more points for taking caps than you do for kills in this game, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys are out there, go get the caps.
Play the objective.
There you go. Now, here's something that's interesting about the Shiriatsuyu choice. It has a faster reload, up to 94 seconds reload, and faster than the.
That's right. So I mean, it does have the ability to at least put the fish in the water a bit quicker. But as we saw, I think that the versatility of the Harakaze, especially with those 100 millimeter Akazuki guns, really is just. I think it's the better choice. It's Shiratsuyu 2.0.
Well, another also you have to look at detection range. I believe Shiriatsu is what 6.4 detection range.
Yeah, now I'm not familiar exactly with how low the Harakaze can get.
5.5. It's the same as a Kagero, 5.4, 5.5, something like that. Pretty close.
Yeah, really low.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Great detections.
But game one going over to OPG, and congratulations to those boys. Star of the game number one.
Who would I give that to there? Yeah, I really think that those, what would I say there? That squad that held that A. It's really more of that group. I wouldn't even give it to the individual there. The patience was the number one star, right?
Patience was the number one star.
They held their positions really well. They didn't flee too far out, and you notice they didn't really panic when A and C got taken at first, but eventually they were the ones able to get in there and hold those positions quite well.
They did a fantastic job for holding it down, and not even that, but pushing them out of the cap and away from the cap. I don't think that Charles Martel is equipped to handle a sustained still fight. It needs to be on the edge. It needs to be running. It needs to be shooting. It needs to be spotted the entire time of the game. And when you initially go in, it's hard to cover a cap with a Charles Martel, especially when they counter. They really can't push in too deep, or else they do get erased off of the map. So maybe Charles Martel's a good idea for an opener map, but when you have islands like that in the actual caps, maybe you take something else. What else? Another idea to be taken instead of a Charles Martel in a situation like that?
Oh God! There's a lot of choices you could take. I feel like the Martel, yeah, it is. It needs its speed. It needs its water space. Its job is to be at distance, dodging shots, trolling people to spin their barrels, and putting accurate fire at range. If you wanted to fill that role with something else, I mean, take a Kudasov. You have the ability to send that long-range fire with IFHE. The rounds do great damage, and yet you have protection with that smoke cover that protects yourself. So probably a better choice there. I mean, even I would think a hipster, although I'm probably going to get scolded for saying that. I like that boat, and I think it would have been a better choice there in that position. Given that wacky AP going.
All right, so the next board is up. I'm going to go on OP Gaming side this time. My star of the game, whoever called the strats to take Chappie all the way out to the edge of the map just to cover that one cap. And you saw toward the end of the game where he disappeared from the rest of the team and was still able to hold that cap down as long as he did.
Yeah.
So my star of the game goes to that Chappie, unsung hero holding down that cap solo.
Yeah.
So
That brave lone warrior.
what does SF have to do to come back from this loss? It was a real close game. Could have gone either way.
Oh, it
A
was.
couple of good shots. They kind of got whittled down there early, being spotted in behind islands at B. I've noticed that when you're playing against OP Gaming, being stationary is not a good thing because they pretty much stayed mobile the entire game, except for one or two people.
They had good moves, and I think they should keep with most of their game plan there. Get to those caps quickly. We noticed they got the ones caps held fast. OPG spent a little more time getting themselves positioned, so they need to take a little bit of a page out of that playbook. And once they get those caps to hold positions, I felt like they got into those positions, and then they were reliant on that cap being held. Some of those ships moved out to other places, whether they were being pushed out due to concentrated fire or just feeling secure and moving to the next point to hurry up and make up. But yeah, keep those caps held. Fight a little bit more, and I think that they can edge it out there because they definitely were quicker to get to the caps for sure.
Definitely got the caps. They got the caps fast. They went in there. They held the caps down for quite a while. And then the counter push came, and they weren't set up for the counter push. And I think that after you take those caps and you have to fight for them back, OP Gaming took the time. They let them have the caps early, and they took the time to set up the counter push. And when you take that counter push and you don't have position on it, there goes your cap. So. And then when they're fighting to get that back, they're pretty much open the entire time. You saw the key coming from way out and charging in, and he was under fire all the way in because of good positioning. So he was taking fire from A, he was taking fire from B, and that's what you need to do in this. That's what you need to do in situations like this. So what does OP Gaming do for this next game, Mr. Swole?
I think they just keep what they're doing and maybe perhaps get those DDs to the points a little quicker. Although it's tough to really criticize. I mean, they were down 2 caps. That tick rate was going for a little bit, and they managed to pull off a few 100-point victory at the end there. So whatever they're doing, that patience is a virtue strategy is definitely paying off.
I think the patience is a virtue, positioning is a virtue, and well, you know, if you can be patient on the game and spot the moves, spot the counters from SF, OP Gaming can keep the pressure up on them here. Now OP Gaming probably, if I know these guys, they probably want to 2-0 these guys, but they don't have to do it. They can be very patient with this game and let the game come to them, and then they can adjust. Another thing with SF and not to mention OP Gaming too often here, but they are both very flexible in their plays. Very flexible in their games. We've seen it last season. We saw it the season before. Something happens to go wrong, they're able to flex and they're able to pull wins from things that you wouldn't normally see. Through outstanding team play, outstanding call-outs, whatever. SF has the ability to take down this very, very strong OP Gaming team.
And as we move into Warriors Path here, this is a map typically, at least in random game mode, we know that most often we see a lot of action A and B. Some would say that pulling into C is, of course, pulling yourself away from the fight. I can kind of see that argument being held a little bit just due to the size and nature of those 2 big islands that kind of block you from shooting into B. But in this kind of mode, there's no real reason to avoid any certain objective unless that is the unified team plan. So we should see action going everywhere here. Again, from C, you do have to take slight detour routes to get around to B and A. Going through that channel, we know, is where the deadliness kind of comes in and where people make the claim that that's a bad way to go because you're in a narrow, thin slot. You have lanes that are open from both the north, the south, and direct west to hit you. So it is kind of a risk pushing through that area. But you can get large flanks too. You can actually put a lot of ships and have them move around, being concealed as you come around that side as well. So,
all right. Well, here we go. Game number 2. OP Gaming taking the first one 200-point victory, pretty close. Took about 15, 16 minutes to finish out that game. And we'll
Oh,
see
and
you.
interesting over here. So the lineup over here for SF, we got a Magi double key, and we brought out more Martel. So the call was to ring the cowbell, more Martel, bringing out the Kudasov, and then double Benson lineup for the destroyer setup.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking on SF, man. They're going to be outside. This is a pretty wide open map. They're going to be outside flinging HE from the get-go on this game. Over here on the OP Gaming side, we have North Carolina double Amagis again. Champy, Kudasov, Benson, Harikaze, and then the Lo Yang from Never Forgotten. And as looks like he didn't play the last game, he's playing this
wrong
game.
mode.
And
So we're gonna have a restart here, or are we gonna play this? Restart.
Restart, they're saying. All right, so we are in a restart format. That is okay.
Restart was called.
Now, since there is a restart, these boats are locked in. Those players are locked in on whatever boat that they chose.
That's right. There is no altering of the lineup.
No, there you go. No altering of the lineup. Double Martels. I mean, I tell you what, the French cruisers.
I mean, they have their place. If you keep them in the open at range, I mean, they are like full cruiser versions of Russian destroyers with that ability to stay fast, stay elusive, and put very accurate gunfire down. Those guns, there's got to be something said for the accuracy once you get used to them.
The slow plodding shell trajectories on those things. It's kind of frustrating until you get used to aiming a little
Just as
bit
everyone
further.
thought the North Carolina was a little frustrating when we all first got to her, right?
That's right. It ended up being about another tick and a half for that one. But I'm talking slow, like slower than the North Carolina arc shells.
Not quite York speeds. So
Not
at least
quite
an
York
improvement.
speeds. Oh, that's York AP speeds, right?
Yes, York AP.
York AP speeds. There you go.
AKA destroyer rounds.
It's almost like you're firing a Benson out there from 19
exactly, it really
kilometers, or a 20-kilometer Atlanta shot.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
God, I think that's got to be the slowest shells comparatively.
Yeah, they really are. Those 127 rounds.
All right, so we'll see how taking the double
I bet they're
Martels.
calling for you.
I'm not seeing the game here.
It's in there. You'll see us.
I'm not seeing it. It's not up the top. Did they not tag it this time? I got APOC versus AFW. Impact
It
versus,
should say SFKG versus OPG.
It was down. It was down in the bottom. My bad. It was down in the bottom. It showed up at the very bottom of my list. Usually they would pop up at the top.
Usually it pops up on top. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. All right, here we go again, guys. Round number 2. Try number 2. Take 2. Action. Let's get some action. We need some action.
That's right. Get into action.
Give me some action here. Yeah. All right, boys, so same lineup, North Carolina, double Amagis, Chapayev and Kudasov, Benson, Harikaze with no smoke, and then the Lo Yang for the Hydro. Excellent choices all around. SF, what you got over there again?
Yeah, same lineup, Amagi, double Key, double Charlie Marty, rocking a Cooter, and then double Bensons. So that flop of seeing how the Shiratsuyu performed against Harikaze, they decided to flip it up, give yourself that good old American Benson versatility, bulliness.
Now
the interesting choice to me was that second Martel. Yeah, we're gonna see how that plays out.
I don't know, man. I think having a radar is vastly superior. These guys are looking to play long game. This is what these guys are looking to play. You have a Magi, a Key, and a Key. They are going to be in some serious damage early on. They are very maneuverable. You kind of have to continue to move the entire game if you're playing an Amagi and a Key, because that's your strong suit. You're kind of fast.
Right. And immediately we see a heavy push towards the east side of the map with a lone here's the so the lone Charlie Marty, probably utilizing his speed boost, is moving out towards the A side while the rest of the fleet goes B, C. So the Marty could play good here with its ability to stay at range, keep elusive, and fire shots. If that CV keeps anything spotted over there, they're going to have a hard time hitting him with all that island display out there. So lots of places to block line of sight.
All right, over here on this side, we got the Lo Yang and Herikaze and the Magi Beta Orionis heading off toward the in-between BC cap. Frat and Admiral Kurd are heading that direction as well. On the right-hand side of the map, going toward the A cap, we have Lord of Face, the Benson, Deprived Pickle, and Chipayev, and the Quang Du. And then, of course, the Shikaku doing Shikaku-y type things, throwing his planes out there on the caps, maybe get that early spot, and maybe, who knows, just maybe, that early kill.
That's right. As I'm sitting here watching from sea level, this kind of reminds me of those old black and white films when they're watching the flotillas moving across the Atlantic, moving in. You just have a huge fleet over here moving out, getting themselves positioned right between B and C. So that's definitely the strategy being executed by SF here. And it does look like a key has come to support, so Pink Assassin is coming to support Crazy Cole out here at A side.
The only problem I have with this, usually this is reserved for the Kudasov because of his range and his smoke. It'll be interesting to see what the Charles Martel and Key combination can do together, as they're not going to have much protection at all, other than their WASD hacks that everybody knows how to do here in this game. Lo Yang being spotted here, never forgotten, sending out a couple of rolls of torps, one going to the right of the island, one going to the left of the island, as he is spotted by planes currently.
That's right, and Rhino having to back himself out, stay tucked. He knows those torps are incoming, and that's going to give Never there a little bit of a cap time. I bet he'll get to about half cap before it is stalled out by Rhino as he moves back in, moonwalking himself into holding that position.
He should be okay to pass those torpedoes by. I don't think there's any
yeah, those were just
there.
Good area deniability torps trying to slow down the pace.
Somebody hit Frat Star for a lot of damage there. He's down to 19,000 hit points, 18,000 hit points sitting in that smoke. That was a lot of damage coming in, and continuous shots coming in. Let's see how these do. Short over maybe 1,000 damage on those, not too much, no fires.
So a quick glance at the scenario here. We have a Pink Assassin and Crazy Cole. They decided A is maybe not where they want to hang out. They're positioning themselves now back towards the B sector here. So
maybe they play a slow retreating defense on that, trying
That's
to
what
reset,
I'm wondering. Kind of like a
some,
kite and reset. Yeah,
trying to get the resets on, get the slow down here. Maybe they can catch up with the getting the C cap, as they are about halfway there, or about a quarter of the way to C now. Lo Yang in the cap still, has his hydro up. And there's a random torpedo.
And the key
is
the key spotted still on your side? I noticed he had some incoming fire there.
There,
was it dark yet?
He is pink. There, he just popped up. Achilles just popped up here, and Pink Assassin is still on the board. The only things we can see right now is Rhino, Pink Assassin, and Achilles. And now Merrill's has just now popped up as well. Got spotted. He opened fire on the Herikaze. No, maybe not. Maybe it was the planes. He was opening fire on the planes. Get that spot
trying to get those guys out of there, because we all know that plane spotting, right? And this is how you handle that. So
now we have Beta Orionis being taking a little bit of damage, not too much. He was set on fire instantaneously by whatever else is there. The Charles Martel over at Charlie, I can only assume, and Beta Orionis.
I gotta say, impressive dodging by Merrill's there. So he was taking some incoming fire, but it looks like he came out unscathed. So good job.
Torpedoes again on Rhino Mark II. Looks
yeah,
like
Rhino's definitely getting that pressure put on him here.
Looks like they pushed him out of the cap. They pushed him out of the cap, so it looks like OP Gaming is going to take the A cap pretty easily. B cap, a little bit of a fight there, and then the C cap goes over to SF.
Oh, and Rhino takes a torp.
He ended up taking
the
a
rear
torp.
section.
Excellent.
That acceleration was just a little too slow coming out of the moonwalk to try to push that forward. Although he's playing it smart, he's just slowed himself down. We do see fighters definitely over the area, so now he's accelerating out, trying to make sure that he keeps as much of that health pool as he can.
Talk to us a little bit about your experience with the Key and Amagi. They play pretty much similar.
I can't speak for
range.
the Key. I want to say I think of a Key as like a less armored Amagi with some torpedo defenses. But that Amagi is powerful. Those 410 millimeter shells, when you can land those bad boys, they can put out quite some alpha. So it does put out a hurting.
dispersion on the Amagi style, the Japanese battleships is 50-50. You're going to get a good volley, or you're going to get everything. Or it's just going to shotgun out. Spotted torpedoes here from Merrill's. Pretty dangerous for Admiral Kurd, since as he's backing up now. I think he's going to start hitting his forward button. He should be able to dodge those no problem. And let's take a
it
look
looks like
over
a
here
spread
at
of
A.
these torps, coming over across seas. So that's going to miss out. Colonel Sanders doing a good job at dodging.
There you go.
But yeah, the rear section on the Amagi, I don't know if it's fully the same for the Key, so pardon if I'm misspeaking here. But I like to think of it as a Nicki Minaj of boats, right? It's got a rear end rock in there that's pretty strong. So,
Frat Star backing behind the smoke, down to 11,000 damage. Left
Admiral
11,000
Kurd
life.
just took a big shot, and I can't tell what angle that hit him from.
I
but
do not
definitely
know.
Took a big hit.
He is down to 21,000 damage. He is on a heal right now. Once that goes away, he'll even out there. Achilles down to
is burning now
20,000.
too. Yeah, he's got at least 2 spots on fire, possibly a third. Depends whether or not he's running that fire prevention skill, right? Which turns the superstructure, of course, from one fire location.
Wow, he is on. He is full
one.
on fire. He is down to 8,000 hit points. He is the backside fire has just gone out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to burn out here. First blood going to Beto Rhinus to the Amagi for HE slinging battleship. There you go. As much as I hate that, it is effective in the Japanese boats.
That's right. Teppanyaki grilled to death there for sure.
They had Beto Rhinus had him a box. What's those boxes called?
You're talking
bento box. It's a bento box. There you go. We had a beta
special.
bento box going on that Amagi right there, Achilles. Congratulations. First blood going to OP Gaming here at 12 minutes into 12 minutes left in the game.
Ooh, this is a good torp spread. Merrill's looks like he's gonna eat this. And snaky
Just
dodge,
did.
and
Lord of
then
Face taking out Merrill's with a torpedo. Random spread of torpedoes there, but a good spread of torpedoes from
good
Lord
choice.
of Face. Excellent kill. Now OP Gaming, a couple of torpedo hits here, a couple of torpedo hits there. SF is right back into the game, but as it's looking right now, they're taking a pretty commanding lead, being up 300 points now.
Yeah, and Crazy Cole and Peak Assassin, our original A Squad boys, are trying to get what they can on Kwangdu over there. And Kwangdu's doing the same strategy he did last time. He's squeezing himself right up to those islands, giving himself limited line of sight. So he's trying to protect one side while he can shoot from another. Good strategy. This is also looks like the north push here for SF. They are getting into some quite battles going on here. We got Dark Lord, Colonel Sanders, although big hits just came through.
Just eating. He is being focused by 1, 2, 3, 4 boats. I think every boat over here is shooting at him except for the Harikaze. He is going to be on fire. He will eventually burn out as well, and we'll just see. He is on. He's got 3 spaces on fire on him, as we are down to 10 minutes and 59 seconds remaining into the game. So there you go, boys. Looks like Never Forgotten's down to about 4,000 hit points. He is taking some damage coming in from the Charles Martel, Crazy Cool, and the Key over here. He's down to 1,800 hit points as Dark Lord finally goes down to the Amagi. Beto Rhinus picking up his second kill of the game. Very excellent shooting from OP Gaming again.
And the battle for B here is getting more intense as we see everyone kind of creaming down on the area, never sitting below 1,500 hit points. Everybody trying to get what they can on him. We can still see him, of course. It looks like planes are
the pressure is on for SF right now to come back to try to push this game to a third game. Never Forgotten is sitting down at 1,300 hit points into his smoke, and shots going out on Admiral Kurd. I don't think that the Lord of Face is spotted. I don't know if you guys can see Lord
I
of
can
Face.
see him on our side. In fact, yeah, so you just now went invisible. We right now have Deprived Pickle, Admiral Kurd, Beta, Grey Baron, and Kwangdu visible.
Right now, the only thing we can see is both Charles Martels, and their Rhino has just popped up out back behind Bravo at the moment. So we'll see how long this works. Pink Assassin's just now popped up. What does SF need to do to get back into this game? I think what they need to do is they need to push into A, flank
need
around the
that
back.
Chappie dead.
Push into A, flank around the backside of the Amagi, get rid of him quickly, and then focus fire, take the A cap. Look, the Shikaku is there at A as well. Maybe they can pick up 2 kills real quick and then bring
interesting.
themselves back into the game before Colonel Sanders does go down, because he will go down eventually. He's down to 8,000 hit points. Now he is a pretty good dodger out here in the Charles
Yeah, but
Martel.
he's getting closer and closer to these enemies here.
The
So
closer he gets, the worse it is for him. As you see, and trying to dodge, desperately trying to dodge to save any kind of thing. He's doing a fantastic job out here.
Displaying what the French are really good at, kind of staying elusive.
Oh, there it is. He's on fire. He is taking a massive amount of damage from whatever's in that smoke. It looks like Chappie, North Carolina, and Benson. And there he goes, Harikaze taking him down. So I think that's going to pretty much put it out of reach here. Quang Du heard me. He must have heard me here, because he's leaving that place where he was, where we said he needed to make that push on, and there's the push that's happening. The key is trying to make a push. I think it's a little too late, as they are down 980 to 324 with 8 minutes left in this game. What they need to do is they need to get a couple of kills right now. If they don't get it right now, then it's over. And first match of the game, first match of the week goes out to OP Gaming if they do not work on it right now. Just a few more ticks left. The Pink Assassin is desperately trying to get into A. I don't think he's going to quite make it. So unless somebody dies, this game is pretty much in hand.
Yep. Don't want to call it till it sings.
999. There you go.
C note is out.
Boom, boom, boom. Congratulations to OP Gaming taking it 2-0 against a really, really good team in SF. And it really, I think, again, OP Gaming being patient and forcing SF to be on the aggressive side has paid off into their favor. It was as you saw SF go to C and push through C, and OP Gaming just had to retreat, just a little scorched earth type of, we're going to make you pay for every inch that you take. And they did pretty handily. Going out here, 18 planes on the North Carolina, 1 kill on Lord of Face, 4 planes. Shikaku shooting down 20 planes, doing what Shikakus do. Kudasov with 8 planes. The Amagi with 2 kills. Beta Rhinus doing very well this game. Chapayev with 3 plane kills. Harikaze with 1 kill and 4 planes. Loyang with 9 planes.
Right, and looking over here, you can see from your side, of course, a flawless victory. OPG came out with no boat losses outside of course, Black Swan. So we're really only talking about bird kills here. And the real highlight of the game, Shokaku, Anumari getting 20 birds, and Merrill's, of course, that Seal Benson rocking 17. Combined between the next Benson, you got Rhino Mark II rocking 14 birds. Kudasov, Piece of Pizza, 5. Pink Assassin killing 3. Crazy Cole getting a bird. And, of course, Colonel Sanders rocking 6 chickens. So
this was a excellent game on OP Gaming side. Excellent attempt for SF side, the Kraken Jackers. But just coming up a little short here as OP Gaming gets a perfect game out today. In the
well-practiced
the second game.
Positioning.
Positioning on this was fantastic again. I don't want to harp on positioning too much, but they were able to. They saw the push coming in from C, and then what did they do? They didn't just run into it like most of the randoms that you see do. They turned and they ran and they shot as they were running, and that was it was testicle retreats, bros. Testicle retreats. Now, when you're down there at Charlie and you come around hashtag Turd Island and you see a DD. And you open fire on him, then you see a battleship, and then you see a cruisers out there, and you're like, hey, we want to win this game. Let's do what we can to win this game. You turn and you use the ability of your key having that good rear end armor of the Amagi style, and you just kind of defend it. Beta Rhinus and the Amagi having that good rear end, so he put his rear end out there. and they kept trying to
Yeah.
take his backside, but they were not able to do it. Holding down the line there as they were shooting and retreating, and then when they shoot and retreat, then that opens up the guys that are covering B. You have one guy actually focusing on the cap, and you had other three people in the smoke shooting at what was coming around that Charlie Turd Island. It was a good job, great teamwork, great call outs again for OP Gaming. SF put up a really good fight. Coming around the sea, you don't really see a whole lot of people at Charlie there. But
Well, it was a good strat.
It was
I
a
like the
good
way that they
strat.
did that. They were still quick to get to the cap, so they got that C cap rolling pretty quickly with the DD push, given that their spawn was what it was. And again, sending just a small group out to the lateral side. So they had their main force in one area where it's easy to concentrate fire. Most people would be in the same range, putting themselves between two caps. And then sending that small flotilla, and it was a good flotilla choice to send out that way. The Martel, I think, excelled in that area, although it didn't pan out necessarily to a victory this time. It doesn't mean that's always the case. The positioning by that boat was still good, and we saw them doing a lot of good dodging of shots while still returning fire and being that nuisance that we know that the Frenchies like to be.
Now let's talk about what happened on the other side of the map. Quang Du sitting behind the island, pretty much being a doorstop there. As the key, and the other Charles Martel on the other side of the map just weren't able to push into that cap. Now they did. The Quang Du was not alone. He did have some help, but once they secured that cap, that help went over to B. That's maneuverability, and that is flexibility on your teams, and that's what you want. You want that flexibility. So basically, what happened? Crazy Cole and Pink Assassin were pretty much rendered useless on that action. But they were not able to get shots down on the Quang Du because he was nutted up to the island, and they weren't really able to spot anything because of the good smoke coverage over at B. So I feel that maybe they should have flexed around a little bit sooner.